Hey, welcome back. On RealCopStoriesVideos.com, 358 cop stories, vice, narcotics, gangs, drugs, gross alerts. You'll like them, they're pretty fun. And continuing on, I have 147 question and answers. So ask me a question and I'll answer you directly, I have been, and then we'll put it on tape. So if you ask me a question, go to rsbcopstories@gmail.com. And right now the question was, have you ever been interviewed by Internal Affairs? And I'm giving you lots of times I was. 35-year history. Especially when I'm a younger officer, kind of young, flat stomach, a lot of hair. I think you're really macho. Pretty much covered myself and my partner. But anyway, so here's another one, okay? Again, back to what I said before. Internal Affairs are all sergeants. They want to get what I call a conviction, or they want to get a charge sustained against an officer. They want to come in there and find out what happened, but they'd love to get all their efforts. They want to get something against the officer, whether it's conduct unbecoming or a reprimand. That way they feel they've accomplished something. That's the way they do. I've had sergeants that were partners and made over there. They said, that's what these guys do. They're not necessarily there to get you off, but they're definitely want to get you for something. But they try to be neutral, but human beings, and especially if they don't like you. One's going to come up here. I got a Latino sergeant didn't like me because he's just looking down on me, was saying some things, and I'm looking back at him, and it was one of these, who's got the bigger one, right? It was pretty bad. And he didn't like that at all. Some lowly policeman would even dare to challenge his masculinity. Really? Come on. Okay. So here's what happened. I hope I have time. It was nighttime, and a call came out that a unit had stopped some people, and some people ran, and they were in foot pursuit, and they were getting rocks and bottles, okay, in this big field. So we pulled up, and I'm with a reserve officer that used to go out and help us on the weekends. Really nice kid. Turned out he became a regular officer about a year later. So when you're with a partner, I'm driving, you let him handle the radio. He'd been out there a few times, but he made a mistake. I shouldn't say mistake. As we're getting near, I said, oh, we're getting close. I'm telling him where we are. He gets on the radio and says that we're on the radio, and tells her our unit number is at the scene. And I was busy looking in the darkness and didn't really hear that necessarily. And then we pulled to the curve, we jumped out. Well, we jumped out and ran to the darkness. By this time, they were already across an acre field. I could hear them and see them, and I'm yelling, what do you need? What do you need? We got our sticks out. Everything's fine. We got 3 guys in custody. Everything's okay. Code 4, we're fine. Okay. So we got back, went in our car, drove off. And so he says, we have a little, not really off-site here, but we have a log. Everything you do, you put on there. Every radio call, every ticket. So at the end of the night, you can recap how many arrests you made, how many tickets you wrote. Okay. So he asked me, should I put it on this log? And I go, well, we were here like 2 minutes. I said, nah, don't worry about it. Well, that was a mistake. Okay. Because later on, I'll explain what I told the investigators. Okay, so anyway, turns out everything was code 4, all right, but there'd been some nightsticks thrown by police, and people were hurt, and somebody got hit in the head, and so there was a huge internal affairs investigation. 4 people came forward, wanted to have all these officers arrested and whatever. It was big. It was big. And some officer did something wrong. Some guys got hit in the head, shouldn't hit him in the head, but then they're going to say, well, I was shooting for the arm and I missed. That's usually the reason. Sometimes it's valid, sometimes it isn't. I don't know. I'm not there. So sure enough, they checked their radio transmissions, and there we are. So they call us in. Call me in first. Okay, and this is an example of something I didn't do, but I have to talk to Internal Affairs. So guess I walk in, guess who's there? My Mexican sergeant friend. Okay, he's with a different partner. And I sit down, and he goes, oh, we meet again. Now remember, this is not on tape. And so now I go, oh yeah, do you want to say that on tape? Can you imagine the gall of me to say that in front of those 2 guys? The other guy doesn't know who I am. He looked over to the sergeant like, what's going on here? And he looked at me like, I think if he really wanted to, he would have come across that table and fired on me. Your best shot, bro. You're about 6 inches shorter than me, and I'm a macho guy with a head of hair and a flat stomach. Okay, give it your best shot. Anyway, my Mexican's coming out. I apologize. Anyway, so he goes in this list of things, and you're not a suspect yet. You're a witness, and blah blah. And I said, oh, okay. Really? I'm not suspected in this? Well, not yet. Oh, okay. So I told him what we did. All right. He's leading it now, this Mexican sergeant. I think he's the senior guy. He's the bad cop, good cop. So the other guy's saying some things like, well, you're not really involved. And I said, I understand, but I told you everything I know. Okay, here's the big one. Well, on the radio it said you were there. Yeah. Well, why would we lie? Why would we hide? We were there. But here we go, bean counters. But it's not on your log. They have a copy of my log. Why didn't you put it on your log? I said, well, wasn't that important? Oh, here it goes. Oh, so it wasn't important to put on the log. You're supposed to put here's that book again. He was right. Policy means you're supposed to put every contact you have is in that book. Oh, really? Oh. And he look at me like this, you know. So if a citizen weighs me down and wants directions to the Rose Bowl, do I put that in there? Somebody weighs me down and says, where's Daly Street? Do I put it in there? If I run a car on a license plate, do I put it in there? Well, no. See, some things merit the log entry and some things don't. Well, you're supposed to put everything in there. Back to the original question, Sergeant. So if somebody weighs me down, he goes, yeah, and then I got him. They go, yes, you should. Oh, okay, I remember that. I'm going to tell my watch commander that you guys told me that everything these guys do, and we all do, every single entry, every single stop by the citizens for directions, a question. We get questions all the time by citizens. What time is it? You get questions like that. Okay? Where's this restaurant? So every time somebody stops us, we should write it in, right? So we're going to have like, the log will handle like 12 entries. And then you flip it over 24. We're going to have like 4 or 5 pages, right? Is that according to your logic, right? According to your policy. Well, I guess you will. Okay, I just want to know that. For future. They looked at me like, what a smart ass. Well, it's either you apply it or you don't. Okay, fine. So then they called in my reserve officer, and he basically told them the truth. We said, we were there like, 2 minutes. Were you in charge of the log? Yeah. Did he tell you to put in the log? Well, he's got to tell the truth. He goes, no, he told me not to put in the log. Why did he say that? Because he said it wasn't important. I told him that, okay? So now they come back. About a month later, they come back again. They want the same thing repeated. See, this is what they do. Like, they're going to, I conspired to lie on a log, even though I put it on the radio saying we're there. You lost me here. Okay, so fine. So in the meantime, I got promoted. And I went to another division, okay? I'm a community officer, it's going to come in later. So I'm there about a month, and the captain calls me in, and he goes, I got a personnel from Internal Affairs here. I got a personnel complaint that you failed to make a log entry. He didn't know me from Adam. This captain doesn't know me from Adam. I go, yeah, we had an incident. I was there. I tried to give you what I told you. We were there like 2 minutes, and he goes, it was very important to put those log entries in there. He's a bean counter, okay? He's a captain. I said, Captain, everything in there? He goes, what? You mean citizen flag? I gave the same thing I told those guys. Well, that's absurd. No, you don't put everything on there. I said, well, if you want 4 pages of log entries, if you want 100 entries, right? 12 and 12, 24 times 4, okay? I'll do it. I'll put every single thing I do there. No, don't do that. So I already got him on his heels. They want to give you a reprimand for failing to make a log entry. I'm like, again, what did they want? They want a pound of my flesh. They went back and got a conviction. They got a reprimand. Ooh, boy, slow down, guys. We got officers getting involved in shootings, and we have all kinds of nasty things going on, and you got me. I forgot to put an entry in the log. One line. We were there, we left. We came, we saw, we didn't conquer, and we're gone. Okay. I said, something, Captain? He goes, you can fight it. I said, no, I'm going to sign it. But I want you to know, you're my captain, this is ridiculous. He goes, it is ridiculous. I said, but they got their pound of flesh. Yeah, they got you. It's okay. Just give me that. The first time I had a reprimand ever. I've been on 9 years, maybe 10 years. Never even had anything, a bump in the log. Bump in the road, I should say. So, okay, fine. Sign. He goes, I'll see you later. Off I went. That was the end of that. Okay, so really strange how that worked. It just really, but that's what they do. They want to get their pound of flesh, and they got it. Okay. So now, I got to tell you, how things can go sideways really bad. I hope I have enough time to this. This is a...
You're at 9 minutes.
Oh, I got 9. Okay, well, I'll give it a go. Might have to go to the next one. I'm sorry. Is that okay? I work with this one guy that didn't like spiders. It's one of my stories. Look it up. Okay. Gentle giant. 6'6", 240, all muscle. Really nice guy. Okay. We were together for over a year. All kinds of different... We did a lot of different things. Okay. So obviously in that year, we're going to see a lot of things. There was an incident where a couple of officers pulled over a car and they requested a backup because the car had like 3 or 4 people in it. So we were literally right around the corner. So we come whipping around the corner and we see 2 officers on the ground fighting. Okay? So guys are getting out of the car. I run up to the guys that are getting out of the car. I got my gun out because I don't know what's going on. They're all illegal aliens. They all raise their hands. They see a gun. They know that. That's the international sign of I've got a gun, you don't. So I put them over the car. Another black and white pulls up. My partner's over there doing it. I have no idea what he's doing. And so it's over. It's over in a matter of 30 seconds by the time we get there. It's really fast. So make the short story long. These 2 guys made a personnel complaint against the 2 officers that beat them. There was some not beating them. There was some kind of physical police use of force. They were either slammed on the ground, on their faces. I have no idea. To this day, I don't know. They were just physically taken down. Okay, so sure enough, 3 weeks later, go to roll call. There's Internal Affairs. You know, they want to see us. They want to see me and my partner. So we go in there. So separately, and guess who's there? This Mexican sergeant that I saw another 2 or 3 other investigations. I really do think, I know this day, he was probably the only Latino sergeant in Internal Affairs at that time. I mean, come on, there got to be other people here. Okay, this is in the 70s. Okay, fine. That's probably what happened. Okay, fine. And he was not too, I think he might have been, something happened because he was not as aggressive as he was before. He was usually looking down, kind of growling in his face. He was just being very professional, and I think maybe he was told to lighten up or something. I don't know. I don't care. I don't care. So I told him what I saw. I didn't see anything. Like I told you earlier, they want to see who saw what so they can develop a picture as to what happened. The guys that had to do the fighting, that's simple. What did you do? Why'd you do it? Did you choke him? Did you hit him? But the guys that are around, they want to corroborate good and bad as to what these officers did. So to do that, they have to look at officers that were there. So they asked me, where were you at? Where were you standing? They had a diagram of they made a diagram of how many feet where the cars were parked, the police car, the suspect's car, and the people involved. They had 2 suspects on the ground and the 2 officers here. They had a whole diagram. Where were you? So I'm thinking, well, they made a diagram. I wonder if somebody was really hurt. So I don't know. But later on, so I said, well, I was over here. What were you doing? So I told them what I told you. Did you see anything? No. Did you see them taking them down? No. Did you see them handcuff anybody? No. Did you hear anything? I heard the normal, kind of like grunting, but I had no idea what was going on. You didn't see anybody kick anybody in the groin? No. You see anybody slam somebody's face on the pavement? No. So they asked me all these questions. Well, I didn't see it. I'm a car width away, and I'm busy covering these guys as other officers are pulling up. There's a lot of moving parts here. So I didn't see it. Fine, I'm done. I leave. Oh, and then I ask him, well, how bad was he hurt? Once the tape recorder came off. He says, well, one guy got a broken jaw. One guy's got a testicle messed up. Okay, fine. Well, I'm thinking, well, with the tape recorder off, I said, well, if they don't fight us, that's not going to happen. They looked at me like, whoa, because these are sergeants. They haven't done police work in years. So they're just sitting there in their little box, little cubicle doing their thing. So they just looked at me, just shook their heads, and I left. F you. Okay, so anyway. My partner went in. Okay. Again, I can't tell you what he said, but I can tell you what he told me afterwards. So he comes out, and he's he's a very nice man, straight arrow guy. Doesn't like to waver too much on things. So we get in the car, and, got to go to work. Get in the car, off we go. Well, normally him and you see the way I'm talking, we got along really well. We talk about a lot of things and stuff in police. He was real quiet. Okay, so drive around. So after about an hour and a half of this, we wrote some tickets and, we booked a drunk driver or whatever. Get back in the car and I go, what's wrong with you, man? What's going on? He goes, well, I told Internal Affairs I did see some things, but I think I saw some things. What? He goes, yeah, I think I saw one guy. What do you mean you think you saw it? Well, I just didn't want guys to be in trouble. I said, okay, you find out real fast. Once you give Internal Affairs a statement, that's the statement. You don't change anything, okay? They're going to get you, okay? That's the statement that stands as your opinion and what you saw, okay? And I told him that. I said, look, man, once you said this, that's it. Oh, I don't know, man. I said, bro, you can't change it. Okay, well, here's what happened. They didn't like some of the results, these Internal Affairs guys, didn't like some of the results they got from some of the officers. So about a month later, they came back for a second go-around. They do this, okay? And so I told them what I knew. I told them exactly what I said before. So the other officers, well, partner goes in there, and he changes the story completely. Okay. Now, I didn't know this, but apparently one of the officers that was involved in the fight didn't tell them that he denied that he actually shoved the guy's face in the cement. There was statements that they fell while they were being taken down, but somebody said that he actually picked the head up and slammed him on the thing. So the officer denied that. My partner said he thought he saw it. Now, what kind of a statement is that? You thought you saw it. You either saw it or you didn't. Okay. So he went back in there and told them what he thought he saw. Okay, so he comes out and he's all like, oh, I cleared my mind. I feel better. Oh. 3 weeks later, they came out again for another go-around because they think something is up here. They have all these stories, and one of them isn't jiving. The one that isn't jiving is his. So I'm trying to finish here. So when all's said and done, when they finish the investigation, Everybody was exonerated of not doing what was said they did, except my partner, who got a reprimand for changing his story and being unsure of what actually happened. And they wanted to tell his captain that you need to talk to this officer and tell him that he needs to report the truth the first time and not the third time or the second time. And he's all mad. He got this reprimand. He comes out and goes, I told you. If you just said, this is what I didn't see it, then you're, or whatever you said, I don't know what he said, that's what you stay by. But he didn't do that. He changed it. And then they came back again, and they changed it again. And it's like, and I can see internal affairs. I don't back them, but I can see them going, well, wait a minute. Everybody, nobody admits it except him, and we're not even sure about him. So now he's a suspect of not being able to keep his statement straight. And so they pretty much ignore him as a witness because they don't know what to do with this. Okay, they don't know what to do with this. So that was my poor thing with my partner. I really felt bad for him. But each man has to, or woman has to make up their own mind how they're going to do something like this. Anyway, so hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.